Hello, family. Welcome back to our space of love, faith, and encouragement. I'm so grateful to have you here today as we come together to uplift one another, share wisdom, and strengthen our journey with God. Today, I want to introduce you to a heartfelt letter from Anonymous, a wife who has faced struggles in her marriage and faith. Her story is one of pain, but also of hope, as she seeks healing and restoration. As we listen to her words, I encourage you to pray for her, her family, and everyone who may find themselves in a similar situation. Let's also reflect on the power of God's grace and the wisdom we can draw from her experience. Let me share her words with you, just as she wrote them. I never thought I'd find myself writing these words. My life, once anchored in love and faith, has been shattered into pieces I can barely recognize. The man I vowed to love forever, the father of my children, the one I trusted with my whole heart, has led us into darkness I never imagined possible. When we married, I believed we were building a life together. Though I was a devout Christian and he was not, I trusted that our love would see us through. I prayed for him, for us, for our family. But somewhere along the way, he changed. He became secretive, distant, and colder with every passing day. At first, I thought it was stress, work, finances, or the pressures of life. But then, the late nights started. He would leave without explanation, coming home in the early hours of the morning, reeking a perfume that wasn't mine. He dismissed my questions with excuses, brushing off my concerns as paranoia. My heart told me something was wrong, but I couldn't fathom just how deep the betrayal ran. Months later, I found out the horrifying truth. My husband had joined a cult, a dark, twisted organization that preyed on vulnerable souls, promising them wealth and power in exchange for unspeakable acts. He had sold his soul for the illusion of success, and in the process, he dragged our family into unimaginable torment. As part of this cult, he began living a double life. He used our family's money to fund lavish nights in expensive hotels, seducing countless women with promises of love and marriage. He would charm them, lie to them, and even get some of them pregnant. All the while, I was at home, caring for our children, praying for a man who no longer existed. But the worst of it, the part that keeps me awake at night, was the ultimate purpose behind his actions. The cult demanded sacrifices, and he had made a chilling vow to offer them a child. One of our children. My innocent, beautiful babies who trust him, who look up to him. I found out when I stumbled upon documents in his car, letters, contracts, and horrifying instructions outlining the ritual he had been planning. My knees gave out as I read the words. He had already chosen one of his mistress's unborn children as the first sacrifice. And after that, he planned to bring one of our own. My mind cannot comprehend the evil that consumed him, the man I once called my husband. How could he look at our children, hold them in his arms, and still plan to destroy them? How could he sit at our dinner table, pretending to be a father and a husband, while plotting such wickedness? When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. Instead, he laughed, a cold, heartless sound that made my blood run cold. He told me I was too naive to understand the greater good he was pursuing. He mocked my faith, called me weak, and warned me not to interfere. I ran. I packed our children and left that night, with nothing but the clothes on our backs and the little cash I had in my purse. Now, we're in hiding, terrified that he or the people he's tied to will find us. I feel like I'm living in a nightmare I can't wake up from, haunted by the man I once loved and the evil he has become. To anyone reading this, I beg you to pray for us. Pray for my children, that they will be protected from the horrors their father has brought into our lives. Pray for me, that I will find the strength to keep them safe and rebuild the pieces of our shattered lives. And pray, if you can, for the man I married, that he may somehow break free from this darkness and find redemption before it's too late. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I only know that I have to keep fighting, for my children, for their future, and for the faith that remains in my heart. To the women who may find themselves lured by his lies, I urge you to run. He is not the man he claims to be, and his promises will only lead to destruction. And to anyone who feels the pull of evil disguised as opportunity, remember this: no wealth, no power, no success is worth the cost of your soul or the destruction of innocent lives. I am broken, but I am still holding on to hope. Somewhere in this storm, I believe God is still with us, guiding us to safety. Please, keep us in your prayers. From Anonymous. Family, let us join together in prayer for this writer, her husband, and their marriage. Let's ask God to restore their faith, heal their hearts, and bring His light back into their home. If you, too, are feeling lost or distant from God, know that His arms are always open to welcome you back. Remember this: God's grace is sufficient, even in our weakest moments. It's never too late to turn back to Him. Like the prodigal son, we can always come home to a Father who loves us unconditionally. Let's continue to pray for one another and trust in the transformative power of His love. Thank you, family, for being part of this journey today. May we all find strength in God's presence and wisdom in His word. Until next time, stay blessed and keep the faith.